All right. Good evening, folks, and welcome to This Week Unloaded. Sorry for being late. With us tonight, we have Mr. Chicken Man himself, Gary. How are you tonight, Gary?
I'm doing pretty good. Thanks for the invite.
Yep, no problem. And then beside him, we have Daredevil's favorite villain, the kingpin of crime himself, David Bowling.
Hello. Thanks for having me. Always a
Yep,
pleasure.
no problem. Gunsnob just snuck in. I was going to say Sarge is having to do some business stuff right now, so he's not there at the time, but he will be with us shortly. Right now, like I said, Gunsnob snuck in. How are you tonight, Gunsnob?
Oh, good. How are you?
Not too bad. So, anybody got anything they want to talk about? Because I have nothing on the schedule for tonight.
I ain't got nothing.
Well,
Heck, I didn't have nothing for my show last night.
Midnight's probably not having a show.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he put out a thing on Instagram saying that he had to go to a funeral today or something, so he probably wouldn't have a show. Now, it's not 100% certain, though.
I think Obnoxious tried to post a video earlier saying that he was going to do the fill-in, but I think he had technical difficulties.
Because I was getting ready to do a cross promote, and then I saw that, and it's like, well, I'm glad I didn't do that.
Yeah, they said I haven't seen, but in the pre-chat, I haven't seen much of anything today.
I've been kind of on the go today. I was at my daughter's, and we got up and had breakfast around, a late breakfast around 10:30, 11 o'clock. And then we went shopping and stuff like that. And then we come home and dinked around a little bit. Then I drove home. So I've been a little bit everywhere today.
That's not breakfast. That's Sunday brunch at that hour.
Well, yeah, we didn't have lunch, so it was pretty much the two together.
Yeah.
It's good. Jimmy's egg or something like that.
And you weren't here for the pre-show, and well, of course nobody out there watching the show is either. We were talking about theater seating, and Gary was telling us how he fell asleep in a movie theater.
Oh, I didn't say that.
Yes, you did.
Misquoting me again.
I'm not going to make fun of him for that. I have also done that.
I said,
I too have done that.
In my defense, I said the newer theaters, the seating is so comfortable, it's hard not to fall asleep. But I don't think I actually did because I've only been once. But I sure thought I was going to.
Yeah. Well, don't like I said, don't feel bad because my wife, when we went to see Aquaman yesterday, she did doze off for a few seconds. So.
I bet you as many movies as Matt goes to watch, he's probably fell asleep in the theater at least once.
I don't know. He's too much of a nerd. He probably got his adrenaline level so high when he goes. It's like
I don't know how he gets to see all the movies he sees.
So what you're saying, Gary, is you've never fallen asleep in a movie theater, but you've woke up in a few?
If I think back in time, yeah, I've fallen asleep in a movie theater. And shoot, I did it once when I was 18 years old. So it don't have nothing to do with being old.
Oh, no, I'm saying I've done it several times. Falling asleep in a theater.
Yeah, I've never had that happen.
I got attacked today.
You got
Was it your wife?
No. By a stupid calf.
Uh-oh. Step on you?
No, about a 300-pound calf. I turned him out of the chute, and we run him back through the barn. And instead of him going back out the door of the barn, he decided to stand there. Hang on just a second. Sorry, my wife was in here trying to harass me. But anyways, instead of him going out of the chute like he was supposed to, he chose to stand there. So I walked around the front of the chute to run him out. When I did, he decided to put me in the corner between the door and him. And I couldn't get out. I mean, I was on the back side of the door. So therefore, he just hit my leg.
Do you have a lot of cattle?
Yeah, we vaccinated 140 head of cows today, plus all the calves.
Is that what is? Are you like a vet type of cow? Like, what do you do with your cows? Like, are they dairy cows? Are they?
No, we raise them to sell them for beef. They're beef cattle.
Okay, cool.
They're pets.
Yeah, they're pets. That one was a real good pet. He was petting my leg pretty good. I'm pretty sure I have a pretty good bruise in the morning on it. And Stacy, everyone else had went up to the house to eat lunch, and I just ate breakfast. I was like, I'll just stay here and work these. We all go eat. Anyway, so me and Stacy were the only two down there. So she's over there with a hot shot. I'm like, she was going to hit it with a hot shot. I was like, don't do that. Just make it matter. I grabbed a big old steel tampon bar, and he took off out of there about the second I grabbed a hold of it. So I chunked it at him. He's lucky. He was fixing to get an attitude adjustment.
Well, he was just playing with you.
Yeah. Playing, I can't hardly walk with my leg, but
He didn't
So
mean it.
what did he do to you?
He pinned me in the corner of the barn and just kept hitting my leg, ramming my leg.
Just kept hitting your leg right on your leg. Like on your thigh?
Yeah.
Like just
Well, I turned toward him because he was gonna get his head right in my crotch. So I turned, so he got my leg.
Oh, so he just pounded you into the corner.
Yeah. I had nothing in my hand. I was reaching for anything I could, and I finally grabbed a steel tampon bar. It weighs about 20 pounds, and he was fixing to get an attitude adjustment, and that's when he decided he'd leave.
Was he hitting you with that bone that runs between his eyes?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really hard bone. A lot of people probably don't know just how solid of a bone that is.
I found out just how solid cattle were one time. I and my wife at the time, she had a farm with a few head of cattle, and we were out feeding out in the pasture with my pickup, and power was out, so we didn't have much to do. So we were sitting out in the middle of the pasture. All of a sudden, we were surrounded by cattle, and one or two of them got up against the back of the pickup, ended up busting out one of my tail lights.
My Dodge has a big old dent in the back side of the bed where a bull got into it here a month or two ago, 3 months. Ticked me off.
Them things were heavy.
Mm-hmm.
Bulls just pretty much do whatever they want to, don't they?
Yeah. We were trying to cut him out. I was trying to cut him off between it and the fence, and he just put himself up against his shoulder up against the truck and pretty much picked up the back end of the truck, it felt like.
Yep, they just do whatever they want.
That little bull calf kind of did what he wanted today, too.
Do you have a fence that could actually keep in a bull if it didn't want to be in there?
No.
Okay.
No, they'll walk through anything. I mean, maybe the pipe fences they'll keep them in, but any of the barbed wire, they just walk through it if they want to.
They're just there because they want to be, right?
Yeah. They're just there because there's cows there.
Yeah.
If they want to be in the pasture next door, they're liable to go to the pasture next door.
We've had some in times past, which we sell bulls every couple of years and get new ones, keep the herd fresh. But we've had some in times past that the only way to drive them is a shotgun. Shoot them in the butt with a shotgun. No way to get them to do anything you want them to do.
And Gary's talking about them going to the pasture next door. If that calf would have been ramming me, he would have been going to the pasture upstairs.
Well, if I'd had any way to adjust him, he would have.
Would you have? Would that have been the last adjustment he received?
It probably would have been. We'd have had hamburgers for supper tonight, I think. So I watched a video of the Hoover Dam a minute ago.
Oh, did you?
The guy taping it, that was a big wuss. He wouldn't even walk on the good side to let me see the good side. I don't know what the deal was.
Couldn't decide what state he wanted to be in either, could he?
Yeah, he couldn't decide what state he wanted to be in either.
I just couldn't remember what order they were in. There was a problem.
It's been a long time since geography class, huh?
I know the order. Didn't know it at that point in time.
He wasn't a member of the Nifty 50 club in school.
Yeah, that was the Hoover Dam was neat. It's very big. It's cool, but I saw other places in the desert that were more interesting.
that were lower to the ground.
What was the? I saw on Instagram the picture of the stones, the colored stones that were stacked up. What was that all about?
That's Seven Magic Mountains.
Okay.
It's an art project out in the north of Las Vegas. It's just a G had it. He told, well, Angelina mentioned it that was a cool place to go, so we went out there. But G mentioned it. He said they just put these big colored rocks out there. They stacked them up just for people have something for people to look at because it's a pretty neat area to look at anyway. So they just put these out there on public lands. It's an art project. They're these very large rocks stacked up, painted different colors. But what's neat is just the area that you're in, because it's just, I mean, I don't know how far it is to the base of these mountains. And it's public lands, and people are set up out there shooting. They have some target ranges out there. And while we're at Seven Magic Mountains, you heard this explosion off in the distance, and these guys blew up some tannerite. But it wasn't even loud. That's how far away they were. You just hear a rumble and see the smoke. But I'm not used to being able to see, 1,000 yards or 1,200 yards somewhere in a straight line. So it was interesting to see that.
Yeah, we don't get those kind of distances where we can see on the East Coast. It just doesn't happen.
No, I mean, you could look off a mountain down for miles. That's one thing, but like flat land to look across it, that's not the norm here.
No.
I mean, it was actually probably further than that when you went to look back towards the base of the mountains. You're probably looking well over a mile or two, to tell you the truth. But to where these guys were, it wasn't that far.
Gary's never seen anything like that either.
Oh, I'm sure.
It's like when the weatherman here says that visibility today is only going to be 1 to 2 miles. It's like, I don't care. I can't see that far in a straight line anyway.
Oh.
Took a drink of pop and almost died just then.
There was a train right there. The railroad tracks run between there and Interstate 15. Right there, right beside where that Magic Mountains is. When I was driving back, we were passing that same train for a mile and a half. It was sitting there stationary. The train was a mile and a half long.
I can believe it.
That's another thing that's not the norm on the East Coast.
Having lived near railroad tracks in Pittsburgh, I wouldn't say that. We used to get some really long trains come through.
1.5 miles. I checked it on the odometer. It may have actually been 1.6.
Yeah, we used to have trains come through the city up there that would have like 5 engines pulling them.
That's a long ways.
Mm-hmm.
And everything out there it's not what I thought the desert looked like. Everything out there was red. It's not sandy colored like the sand ice I'm used to seeing it. Everything out there is red. So
why did that just try to hold that comment?
What comment?
I don't know.
Yeah, I was looking at the same thing. That is so lame. Dale Birchfield wrote, "If you go back, take the Black Canyon tour." Like,
I just went over there to okay, and it had already been done, but
Yeah, it's an algorithm of some sort, but I'm not sure what flagged it.
Black.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, probably black.
That's the only thing it could be. Thank you for looking out for us.
He didn't put a link or anything, right? So that would happen.
Yeah, there's a lot of things I want to see when I go back. There's a lot of different. I've heard that the Red Rocks Canyon is cool.
Well, if you're out that way, you need to go see like the painted or petrified desert or petrified forest and painted desert. Both of those are pretty cool. Arizona. Been there when I was a kid. And Four Corners. Maybe you ought to just take an extra week off and just drive out there and drive back.
Oh my
Hey,
gosh, crazy!
there's a new game you can play at Four Corners. Blindfold yourself, have somebody spin you in a circle, and when you stop, try and figure out if people, without taking the blindfold off, if you're looking into a communist state or a free state.
Sarge wouldn't even know what way he's looking without the blindfold.
Yeah, leave your gun on you and see if you're legal or not when you get done.
That's an amazing concept, isn't it? That an imaginary line would determine whether someone is a legally armed citizen or a felon.
Right. It's crazy.
Well, the Potomac River does that here.
Well, yeah, I was going to say Maryland is the worst because Pennsylvania is pretty gun friendly. Believe it or not, Virginia, even Northern Virginia, is pretty gun friendly, at least for now. West Virginia, I'm not too sure about Delaware, but you cross over to Maryland, it's always bad news.
And Delaware's going the same way you guys are. So.
I know if I go to Missouri or if I go to Oklahoma, which are the two states I'm most likely to go, I'm all right either way.
Yes. Oklahoma, the state that allows people from other states to carry without a permit, but not their own people. Still can't get that one.
They're going to fix that, aren't they, Snob?
Yeah, it's already introduced again with our new governor.
Hope we get her fixed.
Now,
Of course, if we make it too attractive here, we're going to have all these people coming from the East Coast and West Coast to come live in our state.
and screw everything up.
Mm-hmm.
As long as you don't bring your politics with you, you're welcome to come. Stay as long as you like.
Yeah.
I don't think the East Coast or the Westerners are just going to move right to the center of the heartland.
Take it from somebody who lives in a state that was already overrun because everybody from DC lives here, but then a bunch of other wonderful people migrated here. You should institute a citizenship test before somebody becomes a resident of your state. So if somebody moves from California to Kansas, they've got to take a test first before they can move there.
Dumbass test. So speaking of guns, somebody here just got back from SHOT Show and was supposed to check out something at the Franklin Armory for us. Did you get a chance to, Sarge?
Are we talking about the non-semi-auto?
Yeah.
I didn't go check it out, but the guys I was with went and checked it out. Said it was interesting.
Yeah, I saw one video where they were explaining that it's somewhat like maybe I guess you can call it this. The closest thing compared to is probably like a double action revolver's trigger pull. Because what it does is when you pull the trigger to the back, it ejects the spent cartridge and cocks the bolt carrier back. Now, I don't know if it holds it there until you release the trigger or if it snaps it or releases once you pull the trigger all the way back. But at that point, it then becomes like an open bolt rifle or pistol. I don't know if they do it in pistols or not, or direct pistols. I don't remember offhand. And the bolt then slams forward by picking up a cartridge and firing it. But it's not an open bolt because when it's at rest, the bolt's closed. It's really skirting that whole open bolt thing.
It's I guess it's going to be an interesting concept for some states that are trying to ban semi-autos or restrict them because it's not semi-auto.
Yeah. And
it's kind of got a niche. I don't know. There's no reason to have it if you don't need it. But
that trigger pull having to pull that bolt carrier back, that's going to be a heavy trigger.
One would think.
Yeah.
The guys I was with, they said it wasn't bad. And that's, I'm not saying it was good, but they said it wasn't bad. Not as bad as you would think. So it wasn't like a deal breaker.
And for those of you out there who might not know what an open bolt firing system is, Ian over at Forgotten Weapons did a really good video comparing open bolt to closed bolt. Basically, what an open bolt does is when it's used mainly for full auto because it allows the bolt to stay open. It doesn't close like what an AR-15 bolt will close and stay closed. An open bolt, when you fire it, you're actually firing it with the bolt open. Like if you were to say you take an AR-15 and you rack it back and you fix it to where the bolt stays open when you push the charging handle back in, that's the state that an open bolt fires from, whereas an AR-15 is a closed bolt. That bolt has to be closed and locked in position. An open bolt that won't have an actual firing pin in most cases, it'll have like a little pin that juts out from the center of the bolt face, because when you pull the trigger, that bolt slams forward, picks up your new cartridge, and that little pin that's in there that's actually part of the bolt, not a separate component of the bolt, if you get what I'm saying, hits the primer, fires the cartridge goes off and pushes that bolt right back right away again. But again, if you want a more detailed description of how an open bolt works, watch that video that Ian did on Forgotten Weapons. I don't know. Let me see if I can find a link to that. You guys want to? And I'll put that out there in the YouTube chat real quick. If you guys, give me a couple of minutes here.
I watched your video, Sarge, on Downrange Daily, the singing Rock Island guy. Pretty good.
Did I look at what?
I said I watched your video on Downrange Daily of the singing Rock Island rep.
Oh, the VR80?
Yeah.
The
But
singing of it is great.
Yeah, the singing whenever you were taping just the pictures of it. That was awesome.
That's what happens when you leave your wireless mic on somebody and they walk off. Yeah, that was kind of unexpected. Until I played it back, I was like, "Well, that has to stay on there."
What's happening, Calaveras?
Same old stuff, different day. I just barely jumped in, so I didn't catch what all the topics were tonight.
Hopefully you got one, because nobody else here does.
Topics, what are those?
We were talking about you. Now we got to stop.
Well, you don't have to stop on my accord. That's for you want to talk smack. I can jump in on that.
Well, it was Sarge mostly.
Rug burn.
All right, Calaveras, are you willing to take a citizenship test to move to a free state?
It would be highly tempting. Unfortunately, due to family and work obligations, I don't foresee myself being able to get out of here.
No, this is all hypothetical. Like if everything worked out great and you could move to Kansas and take your whole family with you or whatever, but you had to take a citizenship test so the people in Kansas would know you weren't going to screw their state up, would you do it?
I think so. I think for that, I think I could study up and take the test.
All right, you're the first name on my petition, so here we
Of course,
go.
we'd have to get rid of the illegals we already have in the state of Kansas first.
Well, you can do a 1-for-1 trade. You know, when I move out of Maryland and Calaveras moves out of California, we'll trade back and forth with the riffraff.
I won't say there are a lot of them, but they are here.
Well, David, you'll have to take a citizenship test no matter where you go if you move out of Maryland.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm willing to do that. If it'll make sure that the state that I move into doesn't get screwed by a bunch of yahoos, I'm willing to do that.
Okay.
Well, the state's occupied by yahoos.
Real quick, the link for the
Like
people
West
out there on the
Virginia.
YouTube chat. That link I just stuck on the YouTube chat for those out there. That's the link to Ian's video about open bolt versus closed bolt. So y'all want to check that out? There it is. I went and found that link.
By the way, I saw Ian there at SHOT Show.
And I want to welcome Pickle and Night Strike since they both snuck in here. So I was looking for that link.
Yeah, you left the back door open. You should probably close that.
back door. The
And
bed,
you-
the bathroom window was unlocked. That's where I came in.
I was gonna say you had to have came through a
Spoken
wall.
like a true Californian. Mic drop, apparently.
Well, in my defense, I'm trying to eat dinner at the same time. My wife made corned beef and sauerkraut with mashed potatoes, and then brought me a big plate. So
It's your show, but all these other people are just like dead quiet.
Corned beef, sauerkraut, and mashed potatoes.
mhm.
At least the
Sounds
mashed
pretty good.
potatoes sound good.
I like
I was gonna say,
corned beef and sauerkraut. That's good too.
Yeah.
Hey, you put the sauerkraut on the mashed potatoes instead of gravy.
Ooh.
I was gonna say, what's the address?
Yeah, did you make extra?
My wife made a whole shitload of it. So
Oh, all right. Oh, go ahead.
I'm about to say, did I forget to send A&A a link again?
I got one quick question, Sarge, before I
Yes.
gets in here. Were all those videos taped with your GoPro? Just your GoPro?
The ones I did,
The ones for Downrange Daily and yours.
I didn't do all of those. I did the Mossberg MC1. I did the
What's that one?
I did the Rock Island Armory from inside, the arena. I did the Glock 43X video. I did the HK video. I did the Beretta videos. I did on the range. I did the Geisley rifle. I did the Keltec. I did the Kimber and the Mossberg. All of those that I did were with my GoPro. A lot of the other ones were done with an actual video camera. That was Joe filming the other ones.
Well, I see GoPro has a coupon right now that if you trade in any digital camera, working or not, it's $100 off a Hero 7 Black.
And the black is the one you want.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, mine's a black by 3 Plus.
What?
Yeah,
It's
makes
$100 off which price?
it makes it $299.
Oh my God, that's a steal.
I know. I think I'm going to get that instead of a DSLR right now.
That's a steal.
Yeah, because the cheapest I could find it anywhere online new was like $370 or so.
Yeah, that's a good deal. I wonder why they're trying to. That's the new one too. Why are they selling it so
Yeah.
cheap?
I know it's that one or it's a different one. I don't know. Fusion or something was the other one.
The
If
Fusion
they're
is
selling-
the one that takes the really, really big field of view, and then you just pull what section you want.
That's right. If they're selling that one so cheap, that tells me they probably got something else coming up pretty quick.
I know. And that's what it makes me think. But that's the newest one. Why would they
It hasn't been out very
introduce it
long.
and then fire sale it? There's either A, there's something wrong with it, or B, there's another new one coming out. It's the only two reasons.
I think that's for my videos, at least 90%, the ones that aren't shaky as all heck, are done on a GoPro Hero 5 Session.
All of my videos are done on a Galaxy S5.
Did you say a TRS 80?
No, I said an old Polaroid.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, a Galaxy S5. It does
I
1080.
misunderstood.
It'll actually do 4K video, but not that I want to edit 4K video. 1080
that's
is
right.
good enough for most things.
Yeah, that's for my my really shaky, really low quality videos, which isn't saying much, is done on my Samsung J7. So
I say most of my stuff I don't even put on YouTube at 1080. I normally go to 720.
Well, YouTube downscales it to 720, so if you upload it in 1080, they'll automatically separate and downstream to downscale to 720, so it doesn't matter. If you go 1080, you're good. You're covered.
Well, then how come it marks the 1080 as HD and the 720 it doesn't?
No, Mark 720 is HD as well.
My uploads beg to differ.
I said on YouTube, did I not?
Right.
Okay.
But I look at my YouTube, my creator studio.
Well, are you uploading your videos in 1080?
I have a few, and those show in HD. The ones I haven't don't show in HD.
Oh.
Maybe they just don't like Night Strike or something.
Maybe they don't like Gary. Because I'm looking right here at the quality thing. It says 720p HD. It says 1080p HD. It says 1440p HD. And, it says 2160p HD. Well, excuse me, 4K.
I just stopped worrying about it because, and for the most part, people can't tell if they're on a computer, and 75% of the people are watching on a mobile device anyway. And to them, it's not going to make a bit of difference.
No, it's really not.
All I know is none of our videos have went past 1080p. So, anyway, hi everybody.
Hey.
Oh, great. Easier.
Anyway.
How you guys doing tonight?
We're doing.
We're doing. The one thing I want to jump on tonight is I talked to Tim Roberts of the Tyven Show. I think Dave, you were there for his Instagram thing. I was trying to get on my phone. It wouldn't work, but he asked me, when I jump on these, if he wanted to jump on and promote our thing. I just sent him a text. I haven't got a response, but we are on for a Creator Summit.
Yeah, if Tyven wants to jump on, that's fine with me.
Yeah, well, I'm waiting for a response to his, my text. But like I said, he did put a video out. I did throw it. I could throw it out in the side chat here again. This is the link to the Creator Summit. He just did a video. There's a website. It's getting rolling. It's I don't know what third week in September, but I'm running a 3-gun match this year, I guess, because I said I wanted to, and he said, "Well, I guess you're in charge," and I went, "Okay." Yeah, we're gonna have 3-gun. We're gonna have long range. We're gonna have try and have as many creators as we can. And this is the thing about this is you could have 10 subscribers, you could have 1 million. We don't care. We just want to get creators together. And that's what this event is about. Last year we had, 10 to 20 at the most. And I'm hoping this year we can, quadruple that. And all you guys are, of course, invited. Yeah, it's in Ohio. For some of you, it's a drive. But I'm just putting it out there. We're going to try and get this going. You know what I mean? And if I remember right, Tyven said that Chad from IV8888 said he was going to be there. So that'd be cool.
Yay, it's not Barry.
Not Barry.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan
Yeah,
of
it's not Barry. Yes. R.I.P. Barry. But you know what I'm saying. It just,
Yeah.
I would love to meet all you guys live. You know what I mean? It's like, man, we do these chats and it's like, man, we get to know each other, but to meet you guys live and hang out, man, that's.
Yeah, this guy Armament Axis texts me like early in the morning about something. I'm like, what the hell, man? I don't know what he texted me.
I got 3 words for
Wait
you.
a minute. What's
Come
early
to
in the morning
Wanamaker.
to you?
That's why nobody has my cell number, man. I ain't getting texted early in the morning.
I would love to make Wanamaker.
You meet a whole bunch of us if you come to Wanamaker.
My goal this year is either do Wanamaker and do Gun Rights Policy Conference, or I may only be able just to do the policy conference just because of money.
Right.
Yeah, I'm supposed to go to Wanamaker, but that could be in jeopardy depending on what happens when I go to the specialist about my eyes later on this month. So we'll see what happens.
Hey, you can just ride with Patriot and he'll drive.
Hey, Rich. How long do you think it would take to drive straight through from where I live to Tulsa?
Like
We
20
Maryland.
drive fast, 2.5 hours.
No, I mean,
Well, that's where
doing the speed limit, maybe 10 over here and there, but not 150 miles an hour the whole way.
Oh, it's not
I
more
gotta
than
look
3
at
hours.
that,
Just started.
Dave, to remember where you're at. So I gotta go
didn't
in my.
Cycle Camp didn't Cycle Camp drive last year and it took him like 25 hours.
He said it took
Yeah.
26 hours to get from Connecticut, but then he also had to go to New York City to pick up John Z. So who knows how long he was stuck in New York City trying to find where John lives.
Yeah, New York, Connecticut's a little bit further away than Central Maryland, too.
I know where John lives, and I'm not going to say, but let's just put it this way. John lives in the center of New York City.
So he lives in Manhattan.
No, the other one.
He lives in Harlem?
No, he said it on the
Island, man. There's only two parts. It's either you're living downtown or
I
you're
think
living
he said he lives
Harlem.
in Queens.
He lives in Queens. That's right. One of the other boroughs.
That's on the other side.
Just looking at your address, Kingpin, you're closer to Rich, I would think.
Yeah, he is.
Close to Rich.
Yeah, that's why I asked Rich how long he thinks it would take, because I'm not far from Rich at all.
Right. Yeah,
What kind of vehicle you got? No,
Just
no.
right-
Kind of,
Right now, I would drive a Pontiac Bonneville, or I'd rent a car.
no, I'm just asking what kind of car you have.
Oh, I've got a Pontiac Bonneville and a '99 Chevy Silverado.
how's that?
Okay.
How's that Silverado doing? Still going?
Oh heck yeah, it's sitting in my driveway. I don't drive it.
Oh.
so.
I was going to say, if you're planning on going to Tulsa, you could swing here. You could pick my wife and I up, and we could carpool. You and her could switch off driving duties because right now I can't drive. So.
Well, that's why I was asking how long you think it would take to drive straight
Well-
through. Because I could drive straight through. I don't care if it's 38 hours, 24 hours, or 3 hours. I can drive all night.
Baltimore is 18 hours from Tulsa.
Oh, that's gravy. I could do that.
Yes, I was going to guesstimate around 20, but yeah. So I wasn't.
Yeah, I was gonna guess 20 as well, but
I used to drive over the road in the eastern United States, and I forgot how long it took to, of course I was driving a semi, but I forgot how long it took. But honestly, it's strange because you think it's that far, but after you drive for a living, driving's like, yeah, I'd do that in my sleep if I didn't have to keep my eyes open, right? So
What are you talking about? I drive all the time with my eyes closed.
I used to weld with my eyes closed. Funny joke, won't get into it, but I did it, and I made some really great welds. Thank God for the oxygen bar on the cutting torch. Straight oxygen really wakes you up.
So Snob, how different is the springtime Wanamaker from the winter Wanamaker?
I don't know. They're usually about the exact same. I've been to both of them. I mean, they say there's more business-minded people at the fall than there is at spring, but I don't know. I've been to them for years, so.
Just FYI, bring warm clothing with you just in case, because
And bring shorts also. You never know what it's going to be.
That's true.
because when me, Gary, and the rest of the crew went in April, basically it said it was going to be in the 50s or 60s all week. Ended up snowing on the Saturday, the first day of the show, and we were outside and G-Webs was smoking, and all he brought was a windbreaker, and he's like, it's cold, it's effing cold out.
yeah, that's where I'm trying to.
It snowed, so bring warm clothing. That's what I did.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out if I can make it in November, and I'd be driving out from Sacramento. So
If I was gonna go, it'd be November. Either way, I could probably swing the April, but Vandalistica said that he's gonna try and make it in November. So if he can make it from Australia, I'm sure I can make it from Maryland.
I
yeah,
don't don't know. Do we really want him coming to Tulsa? I don't know. I mean, they already gave up their rights in Australia.
Well,
Maybe that
that's
was-
where
Maybe that was
give
before
him up.
his
That was-
time.
I don't think he
But-
personally did.
No, but still.
You're just afraid that he's going to out manly beard you.
Yeah, competition, man.
Yeah, you got me there. Yeah. Though I think my current beard could give even the Scotsman a run for his money.
No. A&A, you got some people out there in the YouTube chat asking how much the summit costs and whatnot.
Yeah, I do know. I'm not sure on the total price. It's going to run for 3 days. I do know that. I guess we're having an early meetup in May or something. I got to get back with Tyven about that, but that's not that. That's like the let's get together. Who cares? It's not the actual summit, but I do know to shoot or just to be at Thunder Valley is $30 a day, and if you participate in what we got going on, it's well spent money. So, other than that, I'm not sure on the cost of everything. I do know that I think we're going to try and get some competitions going to where you'll put in and people will win. I know I'm going to do that with a 3-gun. It's going to be here, throw $2 because look, we're not looking to make money, but throw $2 in, get you in, and you'll get X amount of, you know what I mean? If it pays for our targets, nobody cares. You see what I mean? So I'm not sure on total cost. I do know to just be there is $30 a day, and there's going to be camping. I guess there's going to be food vendors, so not a bad deal. So,
Right, that's for a 3-gun. That's pistol, shotgun, and AR, right?
yeah, pistol, rifle, carbine. So,
And this brings up the next question. What are lodging situations like around the area?
it's in Amish country. I don't know. You might have to drive a few miles to get. There is room to camp. There's going to be porta potties, but we're roughing it. I mean, if you got a camper and a generator or battery or whatever, but I think we might just tent it. You know what I mean? Just why not? But lodging around there, I would have to check because you are kind of in the middle of nowhere. Look up Millersburg, Sugar Creek. It's south of there, man. It's definitely Amish country. I never went and stayed in a hotel down there, so I don't know.
What city and state is it in?
It's in Ohio, and crap, I'm trying to remember the name of the itty bitty town that it's just south of. Just
Nearest large town.
Millersburg, and it's not very large, and that's north of it.
Rob D's asking if you can camp right there at the range, or if you
Yes, we've set that up. I'm ignoring the side chat. I'm talking to you guys. Yes, we are setting it up. Like I said, I'm trying to get Tyven to respond. I talked to him earlier, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I told him." I said, "Yeah, I've been jumping in chats and telling people." He's like, "Well, the next one, get a hold of me and get me in there." And I'm like, "I'm trying. I'm sending you text, and you're not joining." Yeah, I don't know. He probably went to bed, but like I said, I'll throw the link up again. That was the video he just put out. Yeah, we still got a few months to iron all this stuff out, but this is the second one. You know what I mean? So last year it started. It was like, this year it's like, yeah, we had fun. Let's make it better this year. So that's why. And last year was rushed. I think we had a month and a half to 2 months notice. This year we got almost a year. You know what I mean? So it's like we got time to figure it all out.
Okay. And Vanessa was asking if there's any qualifications to get into the Creator Summit.
Are you a creator? Do you have a YouTube channel? But I guess last year, Tyven, first he started out, if you got 100 creators or more. And I'm like, dude, really? Just this year? No, if you're a creator, if you just started your channel and you have 10 subscribers, you want to come out? If you're willing to come out and pay the money to do this like all of us, and it's not a bad price to just come out and shoot, come on out. And the camping's free, and there's going to be vendors, there's going to be companies there. Fort Scott Munitions and GOA was there last year. Oh crap, there was somebody else there last year. I'm trying to remember who it was. Oh, ATN. Those ATN scopes. Wow. Yeah, I can't afford one, but man, they're awesome. That's what I said. It last year was the first year. This is second year. Let's
What
go.
about Night Wagon?
And Vanessa's asking what the full name of the range is so she can look up if there's any military bases in the area.
Vanessa, it's Thunder Valley Precision. Just look up thundervalleyprecision.com.
I found it on a map.
And she wants to know
Are
if just having Coonins is good enough qualification.
Oh, bring it. You know something, Vanessa? I will buy, I'm seeing her comment, I will buy a box of 357 just so I can shoot that pistol. I'm telling you that when I worked at the gun store in the 90s, I saw, I don't know how many of them go through the store. It wasn't, awesome seller, but at least 15 of them go through the store. And I went, that's so cool. And I never got to shoot one.
Yeah, that's for. I would love to be able to do something like that, but I don't have any of the gear. That's for pistol. I have a shield. I have a AR. I have a California hack, and shotgun. I've got a pump, so I don't think I'm gonna be able to compete on those.
I'm going to use a pump.
On what? A three gun?
Three gun.
Or you need an AR, a pistol, and a shotgun. Doesn't matter what type.
Do you have any idea how long it takes to do a reload on a California AR?
Well, you know what?
Wait! You're allowed to reload those?
Once you hit Nevada or Utah, take your damn bullet button off.
Hey, Calaveras, guess what? You're going to be in Ohio. We don't live under communist rule, and we'll give you one of ours to run, okay? Yeah.
That would be tempting. That'd be so tempting.
Oh, dude, come on.
Just swap lowers with him.
Exactly. Dude, I was just thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
This is the thing. Carbine, I've run 3-gun with, and depends on what they consider carbine. Some consider a 1022 a carbine. So I've run.
That's not a carbine.
Well,
whatever, Night Strike. I've run anything from a 1022 to an AR, an M1 carbine, an AK. Run what you brung and have fun.
Hey,
Sure.
when is this?
Outlaw match.
What?
When is this?
It is in September,
Okay.
13th, 14th, and 15th, Snob. So, man, I hope you can make it. It'd be awesome. So, like I said, man, we're just trying to get this thing rolling. Last year was, a rush thing, and it went so far, and we had fun, and we're just hoping that we can build it. You know what I mean? We want to build this event to be something like maybe the IV 8888 shooter. You know what I mean? It's like, that's a great, and Tyven was there. Did you make it there, Sarge? Did you make it to the IV 88? Did you make it to the IV 88 shoot?
Who's that?
Oh, that answers that question.
That answers that.
I wasn't sure. I'm just saying a lot of Coda Boy made it out there, met Tyven, met Richard Hughes, and a person that's putting on this shoot with us. And long story, it's like, man, let's just get together and have fun and shoot and do this. So I'm still waiting on Tyven's response. No response. It's all yours, man. I'm shutting up now.
Vanessa's saying she's going to rent an RV and pick people up.
I said I'd shut up, but I was honestly thinking a lot of us, no matter where you live, don't live that far. And if we would just like rent a bus and pick people up and everybody pitched in, and all right, thinking outside the box again.
That you need to stop that. There should be laws against that.
Oh, it's like laws about you
clean-
can't drink soda bigger than, whatever.
Okay, I
How clean
rebel
is this
when laws like that get put in place. I'm sorry, but that's rebellion territory.
How clean is this chat supposed to be?
I don't care.
Okay, that's for with the bus. Is it gonna have a pole in the middle of it? If so, we might have to have some friends tag along with us.
Oh, I like your way of thinking, brother.
Party bus.
Party
Oh
bus.
God.
Problem is, though, is when we all get to the event that's an actual shooting event and we're hauling guns, I think we might want to leave them and sleep for a while before we.
I tell you this much: if you're renting a bus, there's plenty of storage underneath them for all kinds of guns.
I'm just saying, if it's the party bus, we're going to leave the party bus and party and then pass out and wake up in the morning sober before we handle said things in the storage compartments because they don't mix.
Oh, absolutely. That's why you store that stuff underneath, so that way it's and the driver is the DD and holds the keys to everything underneath.
Right.
No, Vanessa's upping the ante. She's saying she could pick up some kegs.
Vanessa is just being an enabler.
Yeah.
Tyven did say something about that in his video that I put in the comments. He said, basically what he's saying, yes, you can drink in your campsite. Nobody's going to care. The point is make sure everything's put away. You know what I mean?
Means clean up after yourself.
Well, just you put your guns away and you don't. Yeah. If you want to have fun, yep.
Oh man, Vanessa's really up and inning out there now. She's saying she's gonna bring some barbecue smokers.
I would love to see Vanessa Kitty make this event. I have seen her I met her in Hank's chat. I've never met her live, but I met her in Hank's chat. She jumps into all these, and it's like she's a sister, just like you guys are brothers. You know what I mean? It's like I'd love to. And if she's gonna come down and cook and barbecue and smoke things, well, she's more than welcome now.
Yeah, but that's your. Sorry, I got NSA'd there for a second, but
you should stop that.
About the whole making, that's your last where I dropped off is if you everything's got to be put away before you start drinking in the campsite, and I 100% agree with that.
Oh yeah, that's just common sense.
Unfortunately, common sense is more of a superpower nowadays.
Well,
the problem is people who think wrongly think common sense is thinking wrongly.
Common sense isn't so common.
No, it's not.
But,
unfortunately.
Yeah, What's that, Sarge?
Are you saying I'm giving this crew too much credit? Is that what you're all saying?
Those are two very accurate statements.
No, I have heard reports of. I've never been there. I always wanted to go there once. Knob Creek. I know Walter, Safety Harbor Firearms, and one of our other friends. He doesn't do much on YouTube or anything anymore. Zach, Kentucky Ballistics, Kentucky. I can't remember. No, Kentucky Ballistics is Kentucky Firearms Network or something. Anyway, he does security there, and he's told me, and Walter have both told me that. Oh yeah, there's people standing on the damn firing line with beers in their hand, and I'm like, maybe I don't want to go to Knob Creek.
That sounds like somebody needs to escort them off the fire, out of the facility, let alone off the line.
It does, but that's how it is in the South. Everybody, where do you think the term "here, hold my beer" came from?
Well, yeah. But dude, I love drinking and I love shooting, but I don't mix them, and that's just I don't do.
And you have to have a really weak tolerance to alcohol to get drunk off of one beer. I'm sorry.
Well,
how much were you paying attention to Instagram pictures from SHOT Show? There were booths giving away beer.
Yeah, but the great thing is at SHOT Show, all them guns won't go bang. None of them.
Yeah, that's in order for them to be brought in, they have to, the organizers of SHOT have to verify nothing has firing pins in it, because that's what the SANS requires.
Yeah, I know. I was making a joke.
I know.
Yeah, I think it was
You know-
Stag Arms that had a whole keg of Bud Light sitting there, just filling up plastic cups and sitting them on their table.
You know, we need Calaveras on Hit or Miss just to derail
That was
Rich.
after the show. That wasn't during the day. That was at the end of the show for each day.
No. G-Webs was saying that they weren't the only booth that was doing it, and they were actually giving away cups of beer during the show. Because when he posted his thing about the booths that were giving away ice cream and coffee, I said in the comment section about how I saw a couple of pictures where there were booths that were giving away a free cup of beer, and he's like, yeah, there was a few of them that were doing that during the show.
Interesting.
I'm doing at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's for Night Strike. I'd love to jump into Hit or Miss periodically, but usually I'm listening to it while I'm at, because I can plug my phone in, there's some headphones at work, and I'm still working as I'm listening to Hit or Miss.
Tuesday night, 7 o'clock. But yeah.
It's not like you were walking around and they were just handing out beers when that was at the end of each day. It was like an after party. It was a little more professional than that.
Sarge, you were wishing they were walking around handing out beers.
Yeah. Yeah. I can tell you.
Because I know Sarge would have been like the first one. It's like, hey, come over here and give me a beer.
Yeah, Sarge was just happy with the ice cream and coffee.
I don't know if it was Bud Light, I might pass on that. Oh, that killed the chat.
I just responded to Rob out there. He said, what's going on out there at the Creator Summit other than, is it a big range day? And, I said, training, shooting. Actually, Tim mentioned something about some training, and I don't know. But, it's going to be a big, a few big range days. But
I'm just asking before I head over to get her.
What?
Sound like his wife came in. Go ahead, A.
No, I said Rob was asking us about what the summit was about, and from what I understand, there's going to be the owner of the place is going to do a long range shooting training class. Not sure on the price or other than that. Yes, it's a big range day, but there's going to be all kinds of creators there, hopefully, and we're going to have industry there. So you can interview. It's, I don't know what else to say, Rob.
Sounds like a pretty good, deal actually, and that's for a long range shooting, lesson. And heck, only thing I've got is my Sporter weight 308 deer rifle. But if he can teach me the basics on that, I'd be happy.
How far have you shot it?
Farthest I've ever shot was 400 yards, and it was about a 10% hit rate.
Well,
mind you, that was a 10-inch gong I was shooting at.
Okay, cool. And this is not bragging because it took us half the day to figure this out. That we were shooting just 55 grain ball out of our ARs, and there's a 12 by 12 inch plate at 100, 200, 300, 400, 600, and after 600 it goes to 1,000. And we figured out just shooting those plates at those distances is how far we would have to aim over. Luckily, not a lot of wind that day. My brother, channel partner, and I both rang a 12 by 12 inch steel plate at 1,000 yards with an AR-15 and 55 grain ammo. Now, yes, it took us half the day to figure out how to do it, but it can be done. And once you do it, it's like, that's fun. That's neat.
Right. That's where I was shooting at a buddy's farm, and our backstop was not as large as we would have liked, so we had to be really, really careful with it. So we only took a handful of shots at that distance because hitting low wasn't a big deal, but you had to be really careful not to go high. So that's where we only took about 6 or 7 shots, and it was, so I got like 1 hit out of all that, and that was it.
So what long range rifle do you have that would go there? I mean, The biggest I got's a 30-06, and I got to get back there and see what I can do with it. So,
Well, that's where the 308 would be the longest range one that I can shoot, consistently. I have a 7mm mag, but the thing hurts so much you can't fire more than about 3 rounds before you get a flinch.
well, don't flinch and put something between you and it. And I don't know. Come on. I shot the 50 BMG many times. That thing kicks like a mule.
Well, that's right. It's a 1981 Ruger M77. That was my grandfather's. I don't want to monkey with it too much.
Pretty light.
Yeah, it's a sporter barrel. It's a fairly, it's a wood stock, but it's not doesn't weigh that much with optics for that cartridge.
Yeah, we nicknamed my 30-06 Jumpy because it is a Savage Axis and 30-06. It is so darn light, and you shoot 168 grain bullets, the thing jumps off the table.
I thought you named it Jumpy because of like 10 millimeter.
But yeah, like I said, man, Ohio Wolverine, this is so great. He showed up, met him last year. He shows up with his Mosin Nagant, and he starts open sights, ringing steel at 200 yards. Then he moves to 300. Figured out where to shoot. 400. He rang steel at 600 yards. I think it's on his channel, but 600 yards with open sights with a Mosin Nagant.
That's good.
Yeah, and it's like it's having that range to do that. You know what I mean? Because most of us have that range. I mean, my local range is 200 yards. Yes, I've made shots farther than that out hunting in the wild and all that, but to just sit and hone your shooting to that, you know what I mean? It's quite interesting.
Right,
Yeah.
and that's where I know my 308 can go 1,000 yards.
Oh yeah.
The rifle is not what I'm worried about. It's my skill because I haven't had a chance to push it, that far. The controlled range near me, the public side of it is 100 yards. I can go out to a public land, and I think out there you can go like 1,400 if you sit in the right area. But it's also Wild West out there. Even after everyone's yelled clear so you can go check targets, I've heard of people cracking off shots even with people downrange. So it's one of those you don't go to on a busy weekend.
That you won't have that problem at this range. I can guarantee you that.
Well, I know that much. I've heard of Thunder Valley before.
Yeah, the Creator Summit was the second time that we were there, and man, that range is run good. Yeah, we're safe, and if we call ceasefire, nobody does nothing. Everybody knows it's there's range officers. This Creator Summit, yes, I am now a NRA certified range officer, and I'm going to be running the 3-gun. But
well, that's where a controlled range is a lot different than the public land is a shooter controlled range, and you occasionally get idiots out there. So
there's always idiots out there.
There's idiots everywhere.
Somebody would be getting a brow beating if I'm going down range and all of a sudden I hear a shot going off. There's gonna be some yelling going on at that point.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, me too.
But yeah, around here a 30-30 is considered a long range rifle.
Well, yeah, that's because you're shooting from mountain to mountain.
Yeah, you're lucky if you got a 200-yard shot.
First deer I took in West Virginia was with a 30-30. Funny thing is my dad shot at it and missed, and he says it's coming right at you, and sure as shit it was running right at me. And I stood up next to the tree I was sitting on, and the damn deer saw me and he turned. It was just a little spike, but I honestly didn't even aim. The deer was, I don't know, 6 feet from the end of the barrel.
Yeah, I've told the story about my first deer before.
The what's that?
I've told the story about my first deer before. I think you were there when I told it.
Yep.
Yeah. My first deer was Utah, 125 yards with a 243. So not like it was a real hard shot.
Mine was like 15 feet.
Yeah, mine was real
straight down.
Yeah. How'd that 243 take it? Was it a whitetail?
Muley.
How fast did it drop? Just curious. Good shot through the heart, whatever.
Good shot. It had its head down. It was grazing. When I pulled the trigger, its nose ended up under its own chest. It just folded.
Dropped. Would you put it right through the heart or what?
Not entirely sure.
But
I
it
mean,
just fell over dead.
No, its legs just turned into spaghetti and it fell straight down.
And then it pretty much was dead. It didn't.
It never moved.
Yeah. See, this is the thing, man. I don't hunt like I used to, but when I do hunt, when I shoot something, I just want it to fall over dead. I don't want it to suffer. Yes, I'm going to eat you, but I hate to see animals suffer. You know,
Same.
You know what I mean? And that's why when a lot of people hunt rounds that, man, I don't know if you really, but I try to.
Well, that's where I did not own a scoped rifle at the time. I was borrowing that rifle, so I was happy to get something I could, that would be sufficient with a scope.
Mm-hmm.
My grandfather was shooting a 30-06 old school Springfield. He didn't even get a shot that season, and his buddy was shooting a 264 Win Mag. But yeah, it's for that 243 100 grain soft point Winchester round, and did the job.
That's a good thing. Yeah, 30-06. That's why I bought my Axis. It's just funny because I grew up shooting that 30-06 in many different platforms. Of course, old military round. Shot many of the old Springfield rifles, but when I decided to buy, my brother's like 308, and I'm like, no, I'm getting a 30-06. I don't know why. I just want a 30-06.
Well, that's right. I went 308 with my Savage 11 because for ammo consistency, because it'll still a sufficient round. But that's where girlfriend has a Savage Axis in 308. So that way we had one ammo type for deer hunts. I eventually want to get myself an 06 as well, for just because. But that was figured it would be, especially if we're traveling, especially because we both want to elk hunt and moose hunt eventually. The 308 would work. Now you have to get a little closer than with some of the other rounds, but I know both of us carrying the same cartridge makes things a little simpler.
Man, speaking of deer hunting, has anybody here seen the picture on Instagram or the meme on Instagram that somebody posted where guy was up in the tree stand and all of a sudden there was a black bear behind him in the tree?
Yes,
I ain't seen that.
Okay, hold on. I'll pull that up real quick.
Yeah, I saw one. It was a guy who was in the tree stand. I don't know if he was rifle hunting or bow hunting. Something spooked a black bear. It climbed the tree right next to him, sniffed him a few times, and then crawled back down.
Yeah, you guys seeing this?
In our chat or the YouTube?
You might want to lock on yourself there, Rich.
Yeah. Hold on. Okay, there. Infinite screens. Whee! Yeah.
How old is that bear?
Yeah,
not very. It's a small bear, but that still would be enough to where you're checking your underwear.
Oh, I would not want to tangle with that. I don't want to tangle with a big, like tomcat, and that thing's like, what the, something. No, I don't bow hunt much, but when I did, I always had a gun with me. So, yeah.
Yeah, I would definitely be, as long as it's legal in your area, I'd be a proponent of carrying a fairly large caliber pistol, as a just in case.
Oh God!
Have you guys ever watched?
He just flopped right over on the hunter kind of thing.
Yeah, have you guys ever watched Phineas and Ferb on Disney Channel?
To watch what?
It's a cartoon. It's called Phineas and Ferb. So it used to be on Disney Channel.
Yeah,
there's this one character that always, her name was Isabella. She would always show up and go, "What you doing?" That's what this bear reminds me of. It just climbed up the tree. It's like, "What you doing?"
And he's like, please.
And then watch, it just calmly climbs right back down again.
I'm up here hunting. I'm not here to hurt you. Please go back down. Don't bite me or scratch me.
The bear just calmly climbs right back down the tree again.
So who's filming this? Somebody in another
tree? In the next tree.
Oh, okay.
It looks like there's probably two buddies hunting together, with tree stands facing Had a kid pointing to each other, and they just turned around with the camera.
I want to get a better shot of that guy and see if he's actually got his hand on his pistol or something. I mean, you know, it's cool.
Depending where they are.
There, he didn't do anything. He was like, "Hey, what you doing?" And he crawled back down. But, you know, I'm sorry. I'm
curious, you know.
I'd have my hand on my gun or my knife or something at that point.
Yeah, that's where. Depending on where you are, you may not be allowed to have a pistol on your side. I know there's plenty of areas that, not just here in California, but I know there's plenty of states you're not allowed to carry a sidearm during bow season.
Bear just wanted to see what was going on. You know, wanted to say hi.
In Ohio, it was like that. You couldn't even carry a 22 pistol for a kill shot, but they changed the law, and I'd have to look at it. But it changed a few years ago. But yeah, you're right. There's many states that you if you're in the with a bow, you can't have a gun. So
thank God I live in a state where there's no damn bears.
I'm just glad I live in a state where you can take your gun. You can take your guns hunting with you, and it doesn't matter what kind of guns you got.
There ain't many bears around here. Only maybe in southern Ohio you might find a few. There's some down by Rich. I know that. There's bears.
Well,
in Virginia.
The area of South Carolina I live in is a lot of wetlands, so there's more than just bears. I'm not worried about bears. I'm worried about gators.
I was just gonna say, like I said, I traveled all over the eastern United States and down. You start getting into the swamps, and it's like I drove through highways that literally they build
water on both sides of the road.
They build them right through the swamp, and it's like I'm looking at all the cypress trees, and I saw a gator head here and there, and I'm just driving. I'm going, well, this is interesting. Yeah,
that's where I deer hunt most of the time up in the Sierras. Not only do they have bears, they also got cougars too. So
I'm just going to leave this here for now.
When your parents tell you to stop playing with yourself, is that what it says?
When your parents walk in on you playing with yourself.
That's great.
That's hilarious.
Just wow.
I do love him as Aquaman, though. I mean, he just plays good part.
Yeah. They found the one guy who's been to Atlantis more times than I can count to play the Aquaman. So they did the right thing.
The DC comics haven't got a lot of. It's not like the Marvel. Man, the Marvel comics and the movies, man, they're great. DC hasn't got that much. I did like the first Superman. The Superman versus Batman, and then the Justice League, and I thought they were good. And of course, Wonder Woman, because Gal Gadot. I'm all right. My mind is thinking of that hot Amazon. Okay, I'm back. Yeah.
Are you sure? You don't want to reminisce a little bit more?
Oh, she's hot. Come on. But anyway, I'll watch the DC comics. I'm like, they don't suck. I mean, the Marvels are great, the Marvel movies, but I'm watching the DC movies and I'm like, shit, they don't suck. They're entertaining. Why not? A lot of people are like, oh, whatever.
I mean, people like NEA. But yeah, with the DC movies, they're done differently than the Marvel movies. I mean, when I go to watch a movie, I'm not, 9 times out of 10, I'm not going in expecting some kind of masterpiece. It's, okay, let me kind of just forget about the BS outside the building for 2 hours.
You just want to be entertained.
Exactly.
Yep.
That's where generally, if I go watch those type of movies, I have to go with my brother because girlfriend's not big on superhero movies.
You want to hear a good one? This is funny. I went to see Iron Man 2 in the theater. Watched it. I was like, yeah, that's cool. I come out to my car, get in my car, start the car, radio kicks on. And what do you think's on the radio? I am Iron Man. And I was like, I just heard it in the studio. But when I get in the car, I'm like, That's funny. How did that
That
happen?
is.
I don't know how it happened, but I was like, that's funny.
Yeah, the one Marvel character that my girlfriend is really big on going to see all the movies for is Deadpool.
Well, I like Deadpool. It's comedy. I mean, I just can't help it.
While we're on the topic of curious bears, how would you like to look out your door and see that?
Hey, buddy, what's up? Yeah.
I think I'd need a new sliding glass door.
Hey, you gonna break my glass? Because if so, I'm probably gonna have to shoot you. Hey, buddy.
I can't find it now, but there was one where the bear is like sitting at somebody's picnic table like a human, just looking around, waiting for somebody to bring it its food.
Yeah, I've seen that one too. It was a big old, I think it was a big old brown.
No, that was
That's
that's a black bear.
Was it a black bear?
It was a black bear. Yeah, it was just sitting at the table. It was sitting properly at the picnic table, with its paws on the table.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
And just looking around like it's waiting for somebody to bring it a plate of food, like a hot dog or a burger, and some.
Sitting there looking around like, "Where's my food, fucker?"
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's where it's Yogi. He was looking for a picnic basket.
Mr. Ranger, sir, I did not steal the picnic basket. It was a boo-boo, the boo-boo bear. Oh, yeah.
Wow.
And people
Voice
say
and
cats are
everything.
curious, right?
What's that?
I said people say cats are curious.
Well, that's where cats are curious, but that's where the things about bears, they're so intelligent. That's where that when they start getting curious, they can figure all kinds of things out, and with their size and strength, they can mess things up if they want to. I've seen pictures of the aftermath of a bear crawling into a SUV going after a cooler, and yeah, that car needed some work.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, man. You gotta look at a dog or a house cat, how much power they have with bites and claws, and just look at a bear. They're like 10 times. Yeah, that's a lot of power.
You bring up house cat. They've actually done studies on this. If the house cat were the size of a lion or tiger, it will be the strongest land animal on the planet.
Isn't that crazy? I own cats.
Pound for pound, house cats are the strongest animal on the land animal on the planet.
I remember I saw this newscast. I don't know what the heck it was, but
other than insects, obviously,
they were doing something, and this newscaster standing there with a microphone was like, "Oh, this cat did," and the cat fucking attacked him, dude, and he locked onto his legs, and the guy ended up in the freaking hospital, dude. It's like, yeah. And that's funny, though. I mean, you think about pound for pound, and I'm like, yeah, I can believe it.
Yeah, I've had a cat dislocate my thumb before. I mean,
can't say I've ever had that one.
Yeah, no, my cat doesn't do that.
No, he got scared. He got spooked, and he jerked, and my thumb went pop.
What about you, Gary? Mr. Grayson ever done anything like that?
The worst he's ever done is scratch me.
Oh, he didn't do it intentionally. I mean,
no,
I was holding him, and the way he twisted his body.
Yeah, usually he's trying to jump up there and he loses his balance or something like that. I mean, no, he don't ever do anything on purpose. No, he knows better than that.
Never bit you or anything. Just he's not a spiteful cat like my little black turd that I got to give insulin shots, and he loves me, but he's so ornery.
No,
why do I keep him alive, the little ornery bastard?
Certain cats are like that, but my daughter's cats aren't, and mine's not. But I have seen people who had flat, mean cats. I mean, they do exist.
Yeah, they exist.
Don't want to have anything to do with people or certain people or whatever.
Well, the thing with my cat is when I got him, he was a kitten, and I played with him and I razzed him, and I think it's my fault that he's as feisty as he is. You know what I mean? So, but
you created your own jerk cat.
Yes, I did, but he's still my buddy. You know what I mean? It's just
I can't imagine anybody hangs around you turning out ornery.
But no,
I can.
the other black cat I got is the biggest damn baby in the world. You can pet me anywhere. I don't care. Scratch me, love me, he don't care. Give me some food. Yeah. So
That's how my cat is.
yeah. You know, it's just like people arguing about pit bulls. And honestly, yes, pit bulls are this is another thing. I know somebody that had a Belgian Malinois that they took in, and those are working dogs. They have to have something to do. And they had another little dog, and it killed the little dog because they're a working dog. The pit bulls are the same way. That's the breed. If you're going to breed them to be mean and nasty and stupid, they're going to be mean, nasty, and stupid. If you breed them to keep them busy and be a happy dog and don't ever have the reason to be that way. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah.
Yeah, like my dad has a pair of Queensland Heelers, and yeah, they're working dogs. That's where if they get bored, they start destroying things.
Yep. They got to have something to do.
Luckily for him, he's got a 20-acre ranch for them to run around on.
Yeah, go out there and kill woodchucks or whatever. Just go do what you, yeah. Get it out of you, puppies.
Yeah, they're herding dogs is the thing. That's where they're trained to herd cattle.
Yeah, Malinois are the same. They're a herding dog, a working dog. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Well, that was a good rabbit hole.
Happens all the time.
Yeah.
Well, that's for when you come in with it, basically no topics, things just kind of go wild. That's for one show you never hear rabbit holes on is Daily Gun Show because it's too regimented.
What?
This show started being regimented, and then somewhere along the line, everybody started moving, and the format just went, throw it up in there.
Wow, I think David was trying to talk. I don't know. It's all roboting and stuff.
David, you okay? You doing all right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm good. I was just listening.
I know you're getting oppressed up there in Maryland, but that's okay.
I know. It's not getting. It's been oppressed.
My friend moved to the D.C. area, and he's like, part of Maryland. And he's like, for a state that's so liberal, there sure are a hell of a lot of conservative news stations or radio stations.
Not. The problem with that is Rush Limbaugh is on most of those stations. So just because Rush is on there and Hannity doesn't necessarily mean that it's a conservative station.
Yeah.
But, they are syndicated pretty much everywhere.
Yeah, I used to listen to Rush, but he got on my nerves. The whole, if you don't, call in and say, it basically praise him as God, and then he just mutes you and starts yelling at you.
Yeah, I watched Rush back in the 90s and read his book. And, back then I was like, yeah, the guy makes sense. And he's got, yep. But honestly, I heard the same thing lately. I haven't listened to him in many years. But, yeah, he's got a God complex going on.
Yeah, my wife brings up a good point, though. He's still not as bad as Glenn Beck.
Yeah, Glenn Beck was the same way. He had a good following, and then he started to get...
No one's as bad as Glenn Beck. Glenn Beck is his own worst enemy.
Oh, I used to like watching him when he was on Fox. Then he left Fox and did his own thing on The Blaze, and he's been going crazier and crazier ever since.
Do you know who Chris Plant is, Rich?
I've heard the name, but I can't place where right now.
Yeah, he's a radio host out of DC. He's pretty good.
Yeah, one of the radio hosts I like to listen to periodically is Tom Sullivan out of New York. He's more conservative I guess, but that's where he's a financial guy primarily. So that's where he'll have people call in and he encourages people. If you call in, you can just disagree with me. Fantastic. I will ask you questions to in order for you to explain why. And if you can't put two coherent thoughts together, then we're not gonna have much to talk about. But go ahead and explain to me what I'm doing incorrect. You just better be able to articulate it.
That's kind of a change my mind kind of thing, right?
More or less.
Speaking of that, I don't know what the hell CRT TV is doing, getting in bed with Glenn Beck. Channel's gonna go. That's gonna go to shit in a handbasket now.
CRT, I'm not familiar.
CRTV. It's like where Steven Crowder does his stuff, and a few other people.
Okay.
It's a lot like Blaze, only another channel.
Gavin McGinnis used to be on there, but as soon as Glenn Beck got involved and started running some of it, all of a sudden he was fired from it. So,
isn't that the one Mark Levin's involved with now?
Yeah, he's involved with it too. He was involved with it before Beck was. It was him, Steven Crowder, and a few other people. I can't remember who are involved. I think Michelle Malkin's over there now, and some other people. Yeah, there was like two of the people that had shows on there that don't have shows on there now because Glenn Beck got involved.
Oh, that's too bad. Yeah, that's where you seem to get a lot more of the conservative radio than you do conservative TV. I don't know if it's just because of the various industries or what exactly the reasoning is.
Well, some of the reasoning is because radio is still freer than TV is right now. Look at all the.
I was just going to say the same thing. It is, and right now is a perfect example of, well, YouTube's still pretty free, even though it's not. But
they're getting rid of all the conspiracy theory stuff.
Well, yeah. We're still here making our statement and talking about it, right?
For now.
For now.
And here's the thing, though. What's going to meet YouTube's standard of being a conspiracy theory?
That's what worries me, because I know the whole flat Earth thing. That's conspiracy theory. If anything, that's conspirity theory. Who killed Kennedy?
I was going to say the two-shooter theory
stuff. Okay, if you didn't want to get rid of that, okay, I'll be sad because I can't see those videos and laugh. Okay, but if you take those away, what's going to be left?
Night Strike, you pose a good point. Yeah, you want to see the flat earthers videos
make a fool of themselves.
Exactly. And but are we going to get restricted and they aren't? Yeah. I don't know.
Boob Sweat's going to get banned?
What's that?
I said, does that mean that Boob Sweat's going to get banned?
Yeah, Boob Sweat gets banned. It's over. We're YouTube's done.
Yep.
He's a flat earther.
Is he?
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
He's not.
Yes, he is.
I've never heard him talk about it, so I don't know.
I've never heard him talk about it.
Last time Matt did a flat earther show, he was on there.
All I know,
flat earthers shit.
All I know is this: is I have been up in an airplane high enough to know that the Earth is not flat. I have stood on Perry's Monument in Lake Erie and looked at buildings in Cleveland that look slanted. The tops of the buildings, they look slanted. They're like, they're not perpendicular, they're an angle. And I went, oh, curvature of the Earth.
Obnoxious is actually on the YouTube side. Hey, Obnoxious.
Earth is not flat.
Are you going to be doing a show that's replacing Midnight Show tonight? Somebody said something about that earlier. Obnoxious. I just wanted to confirm so I know how long to have this go.
Well, while you're waiting on his response, that's where I knew a couple guys from when I went to high school that they were hardcore, talking about the conspiracy theories, hardcore believing that 9/11 was an inside job. So that's for, and when you try to explain it to them, they just tuned you out.
Yeah. It all the time.
9/11 could have been an inside job, but I just don't have enough proof to prove it. I don't know.
I know it wasn't a missile hit the Pentagon. I saw the wreckage.
All I can say is this: is there's so much crap that our news media and government feeds us. You don't know what to believe, right?
Yeah. My father-in-law was there, and he was like, "Yeah, we're coming out of there." You could see like parts of a plane here, parts of a plane there.
At the Pentagon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy shit, man. And
Oh yeah.
you know, people try to say, "Oh, well, it was a hoax." Well, I'm going to tell you this: from individual people with their cell phone or camera angles, planes flew into those trade centers. I don't know what to tell you about that. That wasn't fake.
Yeah, and if
Some of
it's a
the-
That's
hoax,
where-
tell that to the construction worker that lost his life saving my father-in-law's life.
Some of the buildings that collapsed, like Building 7 and the other, I don't even know what building it was, that weren't even remotely tied to the World Trade Centers, causes a lot of that. And there's one video on YouTube that causes a lot of it where there's a reporter talking about Building 7 collapsing, and it's
Have
still
these people
standing up
ever
behind
heard of an earthquake causing damage to buildings in the vicinity? I mean,
I'm
it's basically the
I'm
same
just telling
kind
you
of
where they get the
principle.
fuel from. The lady was on live on TV and said the building had collapsed and it was still standing up behind her. And
How
then
many floors did each of those World Trade Center buildings have?
I don't know.
You get a building that tall falling down,
Oh yeah.
impacting that foundation. You don't think it's going to damage the foundations of the buildings next to it?
Yeah,
Oh,
all I
yeah,
was gonna
especially
say
the
is-
World Trade Center facility was built on fill as
Yeah.
part of the East River. They were in cofferdams to try to keep out the East River because that ground was so soupy. The because being in the engineering department at my university, that's where I've gone through with a few of the structural professors, and kind of the more or less like, you know what? Yes, jet fuel does not burn hot enough to melt steel, but if you take a piece of steel and heat it up to even half of its melting temp and keep it there for an hour and a half,
it loses
it's going to get
all its
weak.
it loses all
here's
its
another-
structural integrity. Yep.
Yeah, and here's another thing that people don't take into consideration. When you get up at that elevation, the wind isn't going to be like the wind at on ground level. That wind is going to be blowing faster. It's going to be supplying more oxygen to that fire. It's going to burn hotter.
Exactly. So like I said, that's the you can, if you keep a piece of steel at half melting temp for an hour, it's gonna, like ANA said, it's gonna lose all structural integrity, and stuff's gonna fall apart. Especially because if you look at the design of those towers, they had a central core for strength, and they had an outer skin for strength, and they had lightweight members in between that held the floor.
They were a tube structure, and there's
that's where-
there's pictures on the internet that the sunlight hits it just right, and you can look right through the building.
Well, yeah, and that's where in those planes destroyed a third, maybe a little more of the structure, and weakened the rest. And like there were survivors that talked about they couldn't open the doors into the emergency hallways until they kicked out the sheetrock next to it, which means the structure had twisted, and they released the stress by kicking out the sheetrock, and the piece untwisted a little bit. So that tells you there was all kinds of stresses on it. It was never meant to have, let alone the flames.
Well, I can tell you this: I was a welder and a fabricator for years, and I know all about steel and how it works and what they build buildings with, and how hot you get it and when it loses its strength. And everybody's like, "Oh, that's not hot enough to melt steel." Oh, well, you don't have to melt it. It was a truss building. It was a tube structure with trusses, and the trusses were
have they ever seen steel tubing get bent?
Yeah.
You heat it up just enough to where you can bend it. You don't heat it enough to where it's melting.
And you can weld it with no force other than your arm.
Yeah.
And like I said, they were truss buildings. Tube structure, outer tube, inner tube, and trusses in between. Now those trusses are built with lightweight materials and look at your truss in your house. Okay, I worked in a factory that built actual trusses for buildings like this. They're thinner metal. All it's got to take is enough heat to make that thinner metal. It's just like a heavy barrel in a rifle. It takes a lot more to make it hot. And
here's the thing: you can bend steel with your hands without even really heating it up, too. Because there's steel benders. All it takes is just the right pressure in the right spot. If you have a large section of a building taken out by a jet where it's not being supported in that section anymore, where is all that stress of that weight going to go? It's going to go into another part of that building, right?
Yeah.
A part of that building that is not meant to have that extra stress.
Exactly.
And that, I honestly, I don't know if it was an inside job or whatever, but whoever figured out how to make those buildings fall knew exactly what they were.
Except if you listen to what reports were from I don't know if this was made public or not, because I know people. The intercepted communication from Al Qaeda and whatnot, they were not expecting those buildings to fall. They were just expecting to do a whole lot of damage and disrupt the financial sector. The fact that they fell was just a bonus for them.
I believe it.
I did not know that, but looking at the structural idea of the whole thing, and when they did fall, I totally understood why they fell.
Yeah, there's tapes of Zarqawi. Well, not Zarqawi. Who's Ishrat. What's Bin Laden's number 2 guy's name, Rich?
Oh, Jesus.
But there's tapes of that guy talking about.
No, it wasn't Jesus. It wasn't
that they were.
Oh, man, I know who you're talking about. I can't remember his name.
Right, but that's like you compare that to when the B-25 bomber ran into the Empire State. Of course, then again, the B-25 is smaller. It had less fuel. It was moving slow because it was in fog. It wasn't at full throttle, intentionally trying to do damage. But the box steel girder, the boxes of the I-beam girders of the Empire State withstood it because it had more of a redundancy in its design. That's where you compare drastically the different designs. And
I was going to make that comparison. Funny, I was thinking of that when we were talking earlier about the B-25 that ran into the Empire State Building, and it just barely even made a dent.
Punched a hole that was 1 story high, and
the
God knows how wide.
State Building is girder by girder box structure. And I remember looking into the World Trade Center, and it was such a new development and a great building, and it's great, and it did good as long as you don't fly a plane into it.
It's Ayman al-Zawahiri, Rich.
Yeah, okay.
What the hell?
Laundry's finished.
Sounds like a tattoo machine. Who's getting a tattoo?
No, that was the dryer.
Comparing the World Trade Center to the Empire State Building is like apples and oranges.
Exactly.
Remember right after 9/11 when you had that guy with his little private plane that ran it into one of the buildings in New York? That put a decent sized hole in the building.
Which building? I don't
remember what building it was. I just remember it was on the news, and the guy intentionally ran the plane, his little 1-engine Cessna, I think it was, or something like a Sandpiper or something. They got into a building.
Did he have explosives, or he was just stupid and ran into the building? I don't know.
No, he deliberately did it. I forget why.
Yeah,
idiot.
I think he was just basically committing suicide. It wasn't a terrorist attack.
It quickly got overshadowed because you still had the shit from 9/11 coming out.
Yes, I don't remember that one. Man, now that I kicked this hornet's nest, I need a bail.
That's it. Right. Controversy and then go. I see how you are.
Take it easy, Cal.
See you, Pickle.
Later, Pickle.
Later, Pickle.
Kick the hornet's nest. Y'all ever had bald-faced hornets?
Had European hornets.
Man, they're all nasty. Had a bald-faced hornet's nest last year. I was watching a couple videos earlier, and I'm like, Wow, that's a lot bigger than the one I had, but they're mean little bastards, man. They see you and they will sting you.
Now, European hornets aren't so bad. They're more docile. Unless you sit on them, which my youngest daughter sat on one. And it stung her right in the back. Only stung her once though. Because those damn bastards, they can sting you multiple times because they don't have a barb.
Yeah, hornets and wasps can sting you. It's a syringe, man. They can just keep injecting.
No, hornets don't have a barb. Wasps do. I've been stung by a wasp and had it stuck to my arm. So yeah.
No, wasps and hornets have a syringe. Honeybees.
No, wasps have a barb on their stinger. It's still ceramic. It's still like a syringe, but they do have a barb. I had a yellow jacket sting me, and it was stuck to my, and it was trying to pull away, and it couldn't because the barb was stuck in my arm.
That doesn't mean they can't sting you several times.
No, they're not. They can't repeatedly sting you because they can't pull the stinger out. They can continuously pump venom into you from your stinger, but they can't pull it out.
Rich, don't make me Google wasps and hornets.
Okay, since we're talking wasps and hornets, okay, did you know that over in Japan they've got these giant hornets? They're like
they're called Japanese hornets. Okay.
Yeah, giant. They're ridiculously huge.
Yes, and they're ridiculously vicious. They're the worst hornets that there are. They're the worst species. But here's the thing. See, here's where you're getting confused on wasps. Wasps don't just sting. They will bite the fuck out of you. I got a scar on my arm where it looks like somebody may have shot me with a 22. It looks like a 22-inch wound scar, if you've ever seen one. It's a fucking wasp bite. The damn wasp took a huge chunk of skin out of my arm.
I got to say night to Gary. He's leaving.
Bye, Gary.
Bye, Gary.
There was an incident when I was little, when I was walking out of the trailer down the steps. Wasp stung me, got stuck, and proceeded to repeatedly bite my knee.
Yeah, they won't. It's not that wasps repeatedly sting you. They will sting you, get stuck, and then proceed to bite the holy shit out of you.
You know what I say?
Get out.
All stinging bugs need to die.
This right here is from Healthline. I just typed in wasp stingers in Google or whatever search engine I got. It says, while a bee can sting only once because its stinger becomes stuck in the skin of its victim, a wasp can sting more than once during an attack. Wasp stingers remain intact.
Yes.
That depends on the wasp. It depends on the wasp species. I'm telling you, I've had wasps.
I didn't write the website. I'm just reading what it said.
My arm. It couldn't pull away. It's like trying to pull away, and it can't go anywhere. And proceeded to bite the hell out of me. I got a scar to prove it.
I have been bit, stung. Yeah, I kill them all. Fuck them. I hate stinging and biting bugs. That goes for biting snakes that are venomous. I think snakes are cool.
Hornets have a hormone that when they sting you, alerts other hornets in the area to come sting you.
It's not a hormone, it's a pheromone. It's a smell.
A pheromone is a hormone.
Whatever, dude.
Pheromones are a type of hormone.
A pheromone is
it's an airborne hormone. It's a
hormone. There you go.
It's a hormone. Pheromones are also what tell people, "Hey, look, I'm in heat. Come get me."
It's a hormone smell.
It's a olfactory hormone. It's released. You breathe it in. You smell it. And it's like, oh, good, go get her. She's
go bite and sting that one. What? I didn't do nothing. What?
Well, it's also used for sexual reproduction purposes too.
You know,
there's different purposes that pheromones have.
The funny thing is, like I said, I hate stinging.
Welcome to biology class, everybody.
Yes. I hate stinging and biting bugs, and I'd love to see the extermination of these things. And look, we got a bald-faced hornet's nest that's this big, and we're just going to kill it all. And I'm like, yeah, kill it all. Yeah, I've dealt with enough of them. Just kill them all.
Yeah, my son and I, we had the European hornet nest right behind our house. We went outside. We sprayed that son of a bitch down real good with hornet spray. Waited a day, went outside, and used it for target practice.
That's funny. When I lived at the shooting range, in front of the shooting range, but right in the parking area, hornets made a nest. And I guess the owner and I decided that I was the one to put diesel fuel. What the hell else did we put in there? Diesel fuel and something else, and we sprayed the nest.
Probably kerosene.
I think it was pump up sprayer. Pump it up. Diesel and kerosene are so close. No, actually, it was oil. It was used motor oil. We did diesel fuel and motor oil.
That'll work.
But I said, dude, you got a pole cutter. I can reach it. Pump up sprayer. Pumped it up. Put it on jet. You know what I mean? And just fucking doused that hornet's nest and made a line like 20 feet back to where I was standing and just kept doing it. And then I ran up and I chopped that hornet's nest down and it fell to the ground. And right when I was chopping it, one of them bald-faced hornets come flying right at me. I ducked down, it missed me. Anyway, it fell to the ground, bees buzzing everywhere. I dropped a match and it was on. I was watching them just pop in the air. It was great. Kill them all. Kill them all.
We unloaded on this hornet.
And Terry Crews was saying, he was afraid to get blackballed.
David, are you trying to get us a copyright strike?
I don't know. You're like all echoing like you're at the end of a tunnel, Dave.
No, I picked up my phone.
Watching or listening to.
No, I picked up my phone, and when I turned it on, it was playing something that I had playing earlier, and I forgot it was on.
Yeah. What was I going to say? Oh, we lit up this hornet's nest with a 7.62 by 39 and 12 gauge double aught box.
That works too.
You didn't get
after we had sprayed it the day before with like a whole can of hornet spray, and we're me and my son, we're just laying into this hornet's nest, and it just starts falling to pieces.
I can tell you this. I don't mind honeybees because they're docile. They don't mess with you. Hornets and wasps, they like to mess with you, even if you just like, I'm walking and hey, there's your nest. Oh, you're gonna sting me?
That's because they're being defensive.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna be defensive, and I'm gonna go a nest. Y'all gonna die.
I think what you said there, what you meant to say is they're aggressive.
No, and if you're going near their nest, they're going to go into defensive mode and they're going to attack.
Yeah,
if they attack you first, that's not defense. That's aggression.
That's defensive. You just crossed their border. Now they're responding.
That's still aggression.
Can we all agree we just need to kill them all? I mean, really? Just kill them all. Stupid bugs. Stupid stinging bugs. Kill them
They're
all.
not coming to your house and attacking your house. That would be an aggressive posture. You going near their house and them attacking is a defensive posture.
By the way, I was mentioning the Creator Summit. Speaking of bugs, I can tell you this: if you do come, bring bug spray. It's in the hills of southern Ohio, and when we were there were some ticks. Bug spray kept them off, but they're there. You know what I mean?
There are ticks everywhere.
Yeah. And September, well, we did it later, but there were ticks there. September, there are going to be ticks there. They're not going to be docile. You know what I'm saying? Damn blood suckers.
Wait. So lawyers and bankers are going to be there?
What are they named? Ticks? Okay.
He said bloodsuckers.
It's going to be a big blue guy, and it's going to be a big guy in a blue suit. And he's going to have a little guy in a white suit with moth wings with it.
Right.
And his name will be Arthur.
The guy will be yelling out loud, "Spoon!" Yep.
As he jumps off of a building and falls. Because
that's the tick for you.
Can't fly. Which is the best incarnation of the tick?
Wait a minute.
The original cartoon, the Patrick Warburton TV show, which did not get a fair shake by Fox, or the new one that's on Amazon?
I don't think the Patrick Warburton one was all right, but I think the new one is better.
All I'm gonna say is, you goobers.
My
Original
favorite-
cartoon version.
Yeah, my favorite's still the cartoon. The Patrick
My favorite
Warburton
is the
one I
cartoon
like.
as well, but that's only because I watched it as a kid.
Did you see the Ted? What was it? Ted 2, where they went to Comic-Con and Warburton was dressed as the Tick, and what's his name was dressed as Worf.
Michael Bourne.
You
I have not seen. I haven't seen Ted 2. So
got to watch Ted and Ted 2. It's just,
I've seen Ted. I haven't seen Ted 2.
yeah, it's stupid funny, just like the first one. I mentioned to Matt tonight on Never Enough if he'd seen the Adam Sandler thing on Netflix, Ridiculous 6, and it's Adam Sandler. It's stupid, but it's funny. But yeah, Tim Warburton and Michael
Patrick
Dorn.
Warburton.
Patrick Warburton and Michael Dorn are in Ted and Ted 2, but he's dressed like the Tick. And they said they just come to Comic-Con to mess with people. Kind of funny.
Speaking of Patrick Warburton, have you guys ever seen Rock Slide?
No.
Oh my God, that movie's freaking hilarious. He plays in modern. It's granted, it's like modern day, right? But he's playing like a 1940s style private investigator, and he drives a smart car.
Like electric smart
Yeah.
car?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, big ass Patrick Warburton squeezing himself into a little smart car as a 1940s esque
So it was
Bill
like
Noir private investigator.
so was Tesla his buddy or I don't
And
know.
the villain was Andy Dick, who was leading a cult, kind of like Scientology kind of cult. And it was
Andy Dick.
yes. And apparently,
Well, he is a dick.
I don't want to go to. Just if you could find the movie, it used to be on Netflix. It's not anymore. It's freaking hilarious.
I'm remembering him and Pauly Shore and what the hell was that? We're drafted or what? We're in the army now or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, that was in the army now.
Yeah.
There's also Biohazard.
No, that was Biodome.
Biodome, yeah.
Yeah, Biohazard. Same thing, right?
Yeah, it really was the same thing at that point.
Pauly Shore movies are biohazards. Anyway, John Z's out there on the YouTube side. Hi, John.
Uh-oh, he's probably coming in for revenge.
Anyway, Pauly Shore movies are biohazards.
Well, you mentioned Andy Dick, and then I thought of Pauly Shore. It was, about the same equivalent, right?
Kinda.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, there's one really funny scene in the movie though, where he's trying to figure out how he's going to disguise his smart car so he can do surveillance on the woman who hired him's house because she's afraid this cult's going to come and kill her. So he disguises it as a pizza delivery car, and then so that he can see better, this car was so small, instead of parallel parking, he pulls in between two cars where the car is facing directly at her house. And it fits within the width of those two cars. So
That's ridiculous.
he's parked perpendicular, not parallel parked, right? Did you get what I'm saying? And he's just sitting in his car looking straight at this house.
What the hell is the name of this movie or show?
Rock Slide.
Rock Slide. Where's it at?
I don't know anymore. It used to be on Netflix, but it's not anymore, so I don't know where to tell you to find it. But yeah, it was good. I mean, it's not like any Academy Award winning thing. It wasn't released. I don't know if it was ever released in theaters or not. It might have been a direct-to-video thing, but it was good.
Well, to me, Academy Award winning, I'm like, oh, you're just, patting each other on the back. And what entertains us, like I mentioned, The Ridiculous Six by Adam Sandler. It was funny. It wasn't the great, but it's Adam Sandler and it's freaking funny. Is it going to win an Academy? Nope.
It's just a goofy, movie,
How about what the hell was that? Legend of Buster Scruggs on Netflix.
That's a great
You know
movie.
what I mean? It's like it ain't winning any, but
It's not winning an award.
Yeah,
Tucker and Dale versus Evil. Have you seen that one?
I love the first part of the Buster Scruggs, the actual Buster Scruggs. What's his name? Tim Blake Nelson, the singing cowboy. Is it going to win an award? Nope.
Have you seen Tucker and Dale versus Evil?
What's
Tucker and Dale versus Evil?
I have not seen that. Where's that?
Oh
at?
man, you need to watch that one too.
Netflix? Where?
It was on Netflix. I don't know if it is anymore. But it was good too. I mean, it's one of the. Remember the guy that played the pirate in Dodgeball?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's in it.
Yarr, Peter.
At the end, he's like, I'm not a pirate. And he shows him the pot of gold. And he's like,
It's like, well, if I'm not a pirate, then who's going to share all this booty with me?
Arr.
Yeah, he's one of the two main characters in the movie. Yeah, there's just a whole bunch of crazy shit that happens.
Any of you see Super Troopers 2?
No, I haven't
Yes,
seen
that's hilarious.
I have not seen Super Troopers 2. I have it somewhere. I just haven't seen.
It's hilarious.
It's good. I don't know. I don't know.
It's not as good as the first one, but it still holds up.
Yeah, my wife is loves the first Super Troopers movie. So we were at Walmart one day. They had the first one with the second one as a set on Blu-ray, so I grabbed those for her.
So you haven't watched it yet, or what?
No, I haven't watched it yet.
Well, watch it, man.
Man, you know how many movies I've gotten for like Christmas and shit?
You know how many movies I just freaking
a shit ton of movies. They got me.
Say that on air.
I didn't do that.
They got me the entire original set of the Star Trek movies. From the original series all the way up to the end of the Next Generation series in a box set. They got me the entire Cowboy Bebop series, the entire Outlaw Star series, a couple of Hitchcock
Outlaw
movies.
Star series.
Yeah, I mean, I got a shit ton of fucking shit to watch.
I never got the entire Cowboy Bebop series because I got that before it came out in the United States. Don't think too much into that.
Yeah, I don't know how you got that, but yeah, okay. Anyway,
Yeah, the thing that disappointed me about the Cowboy Bebop box set is it doesn't have the movie.
No, and the movie is kind of relevant to the series, even though it takes place during the series. It's weird.
well, I'm lost on that. I don't know what y'all talking about.
We're talking about anime.
You've never seen Cowboy Bebop? Cowboy Bebop is a Western that takes place in space.
Alrighty then, a Western space. What the hell was that movie Harrison Ford played in with the aliens?
Space Cowboys.
Yeah, okay, whatever. Yeah, that's as far as I got with Westerns in space.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Instead of going like from town to town like you would in a Western kind of thing, they go
Planet.
Yeah, think Wanted Dead or Alive in space.
Interesting.
But it's an anime, so.
But it's an anime. Yeah, it is an anime. But they use like real guns and shit. Like Spike carries CZ-75.
Yeah, he does.
That's the main character. The main character carried a CZ-75.
Here's a good one. Y'all ever seen that show Into the Badlands?
Yeah.
No.
Good for you, Rich, because guns are outlawed. You can slash and cut the hell out of each other, but guns are outlawed. I'm like, You can't
Well,
invent something.
If guns are outlawed, then you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get a bunch of guns and I'm going to take over the world. There we go.
There you go. That was the point I was making. That when I was younger, I was into the martial arts, and I might have found that show interesting. But now I watch it, and it's like, oh no, y'all can slash and hack and be medieval with each other, but guns are outlawed. And I'm like, what fucking universe are you living in? Because you can't uninvent something.
Well, that show to me seems like a liberal or a progressive's wet dream.
Yeah,
and as great as that is, that's not going to that's not going to ever happen. And if it does, somebody's going to go and bring guns and reintroduce them.
Lately,
what's that?
I said, has he not seen England lately?
Well, guess what? When shit really hits the fan and people start slashing each other all over the world, and there's no rule of law other than you can't own guns, but you can own swords and go to medieval times and slash in hell. Fuck you. We're all gonna
everybody's gonna have guns.
In London right now,
exactly. Man. We're all gonna have guns. We're gonna go. You can't uninvent something. We're gonna have guns and ammo.
They're doing it in London.
Yeah, well, that's
remember the mayor of London wants to ban knives because people aren't killing people with guns anymore. They're going around with knives killing people.
Yeah.
And England is a great example of what not to become. I just want to let you know that their example means jack squat, because last time I checked, we weren't England, and we broke away from England for a fucking point.
But my point was, don't say that you're not going to have somebody say guns are outlawed, so everybody goes and picks up knives. It's happened in England. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying
just knives. They'll get any blunt object. It's not just knives in England. They'll use baseball bats. They'll use cricket bats. It doesn't matter what. They don't fucking care.
I'm going to quote Jeff
England, the country where it's illegal to have a baseball bat in your bedroom if you don't have any other baseball paraphernalia, because it's then considered a weapon.
I'm going to
They still have them.
Jeff Spicoli. I'm sorry.
No, that's the baseball bat, not cricket bat.
Cricket bat, same thing.
No, cricket bat's flat.
It's flat, but it's still used as a blunt object to beat someone with if you wanted to. That's the point.
It's specifically baseball bats are banned unless you have other baseball bat gear, baseball playing gear. Cricket, they didn't ban cricket bats. That's literally.
Didn't you know what you do? You get a baseball mask. You get the catcher's mitt. You're good.
Yeah, as long as if you have a mitt and a ball with it, you're fine. If it's by itself, nope, that's a weapon.
It's funny because
I've actually talked to people from England, and they have specifically stated that, that's the way the laws are written.
I worked as an electrician for years, and I had this wire in a, insulated thing that you could hit against a telephone pole and put a dent in it and barely bend that piece of wire. And I carried it in my car, and if I got stopped, they were like, "What's that?" I was like, "Well, I'm an electrician." Baseball bat, my ass. What the hell do you need? You need a stick. You need a sharp. Ban whatever you want. I don't know. Anyway.
Well, there's an old Latin saying which basically translates to this. When catapults are outlawed, only outlaws will have catapults.
Uh-huh.
And it's pretty much true.
On that note, we're going to have to wind this down because Obnoxious is sending the links out, so check your emails. You may have gotten a link because he's doing a show to fill in for the closer because Midnight had family issues and was not going to be able to do the closer tonight. So before we go, A&A, you got anything you want to plug? Any last comments you want to make?
Other than I had a great time hanging out. Thanks for the invite. Like I said, Creator Summit. Hopefully I'll get links out. We'll get this organized, get as many people as we can. Other than that, yeah. On YouTube, on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter. Yeah, all that. Whatever. Anyway, on to the next, bro. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Kingpin, anything you want to plug?
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. If you take the guns away from people, then violence will increase because If I can pull out my gun and end the situation, that's a whole lot better than me having to kick you in the face to end the situation.
Yeah, can't argue with that. Night Strike.
Don't miss, hit or miss every Tuesday nights, 9 Eastern.
It's a hit or miss Tuesday nights, 9 o'clock. I remember that, everybody.
Yeah, but he went early the other night and threw us a curveball.
Yeah, well, people are saying I don't start on time, so if I start early, then they can't say I didn't start on time.
You do realize starting early is still not starting on time.
I can't please you damn people.
Hey, Night Strike, I'm never on time, so we're all good, brother.
Well, you're an old man. It's all right.
Whatever.
Kid.
All right, Grandpa.
I love you, little man.
You might not have been on time still, but it is better to be early than late. Okay, so
but I'm there. There you go.
Yeah.
But check out guntube.org where hopefully I can get everything together for it, and if the worst happens with YouTube, we have somewhere to go.
Yeah. And barring any unforeseen family issues like you've been dealing with.
Yeah, I've been dealing with it bad.
Yeah, you're going to be doing your show on Friday as well?
Yeah, I did mine last Friday, and everything seemed to turn out. Hopefully this Friday again will be fine. It just depends on what happens,
Night Strike, do I need to say condolences? Is that how bad it is?
It's not that bad yet.
Okay.
It's just, how many times do they need to fall in the span of 2 weeks?
Yeah, drama. I know all about it, brother.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's what it is.
Midnight, are you saying your show is still on for tonight? If so, you might want to get a hold of Obnoxious.
No, let Obnoxious run. We need to have dueling shows.
Yes, because the rumor going around was that you were not doing your show tonight because of family issues. I guess there's our answer right there.
I see Scotsman's still live, his nightly Sunday night thing. I've been here. I didn't go over there. I don't know how much longer he's live, but
well, we need to get Midnight and Obnoxious out in the field somewhere with dueling pistols.
I think we have to.
I challenge you to a duel.
I predict a limp-wristed comment coming from Midnight now.
You know what? I'm going to go over to the Obnoxious Ones chat because it's better than, Midnight Range chats. So, I'll see you guys later. You guys take it easy. Have a good night.
See you later, Night Strike.
Peace, brother.
Midnight says he will duel Night Strike. That's a short thing.
Anyway, guys, I'm going to drop out. Thanks for having me, man. Dave, Rich, love you, bros.
All right, man. Have a good night. We'll see you, man.
Hope you can make the Creators Summit. Be cool.
Yeah. Hey, David, you got that Chevy, right?
Yeah.
You get one of those pop-up cabin thingies that you put on the back of it. Not the old camper top, but they got. Have you seen those new ones where it pops up and it's like turns your truck into an actual like RV?
Yeah, I've seen those.
You need to get one of them.
All right, I'll get one tomorrow.
Okay, you do that, and then we could go to the summit together, and we could just like sleep on the back of your truck.
Hey, you know something? If you just had a tent, you'd be all right. Okay.
I'm not sleeping in a tent anywhere.
I'm telling you that it's not going to be cold.
I don't care if it's hot or cold. I'm too grown to sleep in a tent somewhere.
Wow, you won't sleep in a tent on a cot with a great sleeping bag?
No.
You're a puss.
I'll be that. I'll be that. I'll drive the extra few miles and I'll stay at a hotel room.
Dude, I've slept on the ground.
So have I. That's why I'm not going to do it anymore.
Yeah, I'm getting to the point I don't want to do it anymore, but I do know I could still sleep on a cot and get up and do it again in the morning. So, whatever, dudes. And there will be camping space that you can actually get a camper. A small camper, sleep whatever the hell you want, but better than sleeping on a cot in a tent, right?
Not as good as sleeping in a hotel room.
Yeah.
Well, I'm like I said, I don't know what the hell hotel room is in Amish country. You might have to sleep with Ezekiel and Jebediah or something. I don't know.
Maybe it'll be like a bed and breakfast or something.
Well, there might be. I don't know. Because I never
my wife, remember, my wife and daughter want to go, so the tent thing might not be an option.
Yeah, but if your wife and daughter want to go enough, you'll figure out how to get there and enjoy it, right?
That's what I'm saying. That's why I was asking what the lodging thing, because I don't think they're going to want to do the tent thing, especially my daughter, because she has issues with her legs.
Yeah, I don't know. I honestly, I do not know, bro. I've never tried to find a hotel room that around that area. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, it's just something we got till September, something to look into.
Yep, that's what I said. I'm trying to get the word out early. Me and Tyven were talking, and last year was rushed. This year, let's try and get it going early. Get the bugs worked out. Get the word out to all our friends and YouTube creators and all the creators, whatever. But get the word out and work the bugs out to get there. You know what I mean? So
yeah, it's always better to plan ahead.
Yes, because last year we had about a month and a half to 2 months. It was pretty quick. So we got a little bit of time now. He confirmed the dates, got with the owner of the place, yada yada. It's all good. So we'll get her ironed out, man. I'm just
and then with you saying how big the place is and everything, and if it's like a nationally known thing, I'm sure they got to have somewhere, in the vicinity.
I don't know if
stay.
I don't know if it's nationally known, but it's a nice shooting range. I don't know. Like I said,
do they have like national competitions and shit there?
I don't know if they do or not. I know the owner of the place is like a safari hunter, long range shooter, yada yada yada. I honestly, I met him for like 10 seconds at the last Creator Summit. So that was Tim's thing.
Big enough where they got a website.
No, yeah. But like I said, man, this is the second one. We're trying to get it going and all that, and I just look forward to meeting all my buddies that I talk to on here, and I converse with so many of you guys, and just be great to meet up. You know what I mean?
Yep. And on that note, we're going to shut this down. Thank everybody for coming. Thank you guys for being on the panel, as always.
Thank you.
We will see you all next week. Have a good one.
Shall not be in fridge.
Shall not pee in fridge.
Shall not pee in fridge.
Damn straight. Bye-bye.